weren't you named to the roster as soon as you graduated, right? You were young.
Yeah. After I won 3 national championships in a row, I was named.
Obviously, a ton going on in the WNBA right now. Super excited to talk with you about it. But I do want to talk about you specifically here first. So you're in your 20th season, which is so incredibly amazing. And as someone who personally grew up playing basketball, obviously didn't go professional, I respect what you've done so much, the dedication, the commitment to the game you've given that not a lot of people see. Of course, the stuff that happens behind closed doors. So very inspiring. For you personally, how have the past 20 years been for you as a whole, and what's been the biggest impact you feel like you've had on women's sports when you look back at that timeline?
I've been so lucky to be on so many amazing teams. And a lot of times you forget how luck can really help you in life. And I've been lucky to be on one team for 20 years, an amazing franchise that, picked me number one in 2004, and I've been here ever since. And in between that, I've had amazing teammates and coaches. But I think, like you said, the longevity, they've been able to stay with it. Sports is not an easy thing with injuries and life and family and friends and maybe other things that you're passionate about in life. But to this day, it's the one thing that I love more than anything else outside of my family that I still wake up every single day thinking about, wanting to get better, wanting to evolve, as a teammate, as a player. So there's still a lot of things I want to get done.
Yeah. It's got to be very different now than when you first started, huh?
Oh, yeah. I mean, 20 years ago, I think the league's different. Personally, I'm different. The landscape of women's sports has changed drastically in so many good ways. So it's pretty neat to be able to see every step of the way.
Yeah. 20 seasons in the league, all in Phoenix. Add to that 3 championships, 10 All-Star games, an MVP, throw in 5 Olympic gold medals for fun. I mean, you've accomplished everything that anyone could want to accomplish playing professional sports. So what keeps you going? I know you mentioned your family, but what keeps you fighting and wanting more?
Well, I still really love to prepare. And I think that's probably the one thing as you get older. The games are the easy part. When you show up to the game and there's, 12,000 people there either cheering for you or against you, that's the easy parts. Like you said earlier, the behind the scenes, the getting up in the morning and going to the weight room, going to the gym, doing the Pilates, doing the stretching, doing the cool down, doing the rehab, doing all the things that, especially when you get older in this game, it's a checklist of things that you have to get done before you even get on the court to be able to play at a high level. So, all those things, I still find the joy in that everyday grind.
You and Sue Bird, one of your closest friends, both have 5 gold medals.
Yeah.
But Sue has one more WNBA title than you. So if you win another gold, do you get the ultimate bragging rights over?
Yeah, I'll have one more gold medal and one more NCAA championship.
There you go. I love it.
She's my sister. I'm so proud of everything that she's done. And, it's pretty amazing what she's doing now off the court, being able to tell these stories and being able to really share what it is about women's basketball that makes it so special. And she's been just an amazing pioneer in all those ways.
You're one of the most decorated athletes of all time, regardless of the sport. But does your son Leo, he's 7 years old, I saw, does he find that impressive, or is he still a little too young to kind of get the full grasp of what you've accomplished?
No, I think he's still going to get the hang of it, which sometimes I'm like, Leo, you don't have to tell everyone, just relax. But it's almost, but the funny part is, Penny, my wife, she went into the Women's Hall of Fame last year. So Leo's like, well, you're not a Hall of Famer, though. So you'll still hold that against me. Yeah.
You little brat. Listen here.
Oh, yeah. He's a cheeky one.
That's funny. Obviously, there's no way getting around the fact that we're at this crazy turning point for the WNBA. Viewership is media attention's through the roof, which is amazing. In your words, and from also your perspective, why do you think that is? And also, how important were the women trailblazers like yourself in all of this?
Yeah, I mean, it's a culmination of so many things at an intersection right now. When you talk about social media, when you talk about culture, when you talk about women's sports, and the impact they've had in this country in the last 4 or 5 years, and it's all those things. And sometimes you need all those ingredients for a perfect storm. And that's what we have right now. And it couldn't come at a better time.
Right.
With the amazing talent that we have in women's basketball all across, no matter how many years you've been in the league. But it all started with the people who did it when, the fanfare wasn't there, when the eyeballs weren't there, and they grinded every single day. And I'm talking top to bottom, from management to trainers to strength and conditioning coaches, assistant coaches, players that would, play overseas and then come here and play the whole summer, play year round with no time off. I mean, you don't get here without the sacrifice of a lot of people. And,
Right.
Hopefully this next generation can carry in a way where, we make sure that everyone gets recognized in a way that helped this league move forward.
Right. I'm glad you mentioned that too, because I know obviously there's no denying the impact that a lot of these rookies have had early in their career. You can always count on the media to blow things up, fans taking it to the next level. But I know recently it hit this crazy fever pitch online, at least on my social media, where crazy enough, our USA Today sports columnist Christine Brennan broke the news of a potential Olympic roster. And I know it didn't include Caitlin, and I'm obviously very much understand that the roster is not official yet. But as a 20-year vet, someone who many considered to be the voice of women's basketball, what have you thought about the reaction to that news? And do you also feel like it's justified?
Yeah, I mean, the roster's not out. So, the one thing I can say is it's always a hard team to make no matter what.
Right.
You go down the line the last 20 years and, USA basketball is special. A lot of people sacrifice a lot of their time throughout the year in camps and, in the junior basketball system. So, when the team's announced, obviously, I'll probably have more to say, but, so then we'll have to wait.
Yeah. Because you were young yourself, and tell me if I'm wrong, weren't you named to the roster as soon as you graduated, right? You were young.
Yeah. After I won 3 national championships in a row, I was named.
Jeez. So how did you deal with that? I mean, I know Caitlin's on she's got all this media attention. I can only imagine how hard it is balancing all that as a 22-year-old. So how did you handle it? And also, do you have any advice for her moving forward, how to handle it?
Yeah, I mean, like anything. I was the youngest on that team by far. I had just amazing veterans that just took me under their wing and really showed me the ropes. When I talk about Lisa and Cheryl and Dawn and Tina, I mean, talk about the Mount Rushmore of basketball. I was right there watching them, their every move, the way they prepared, how serious they took it. And not only that, I had to learn the ropes too. I had to make sure I knew what place I was in, and how I could help the team in any possible way. And like I said before, the game of basketball is all about evolving. It's all about getting comfortable with your surroundings. And, college basketball is much different than the WNBA than it is overseas. Each one almost is like a different dance you have to learn. And once you learn the steps and the rhythm, and you have a skill set that is superior than everyone else, everything will fall in place.
Well, that was a beautiful way of putting it. Regardless of who is on the USA roster, I know it's going to be stacked no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be in Paris for the games. I'm excited to watch them all, but where does this pool of players stack up with the other 5 teams that you've been a part of? Because you just mentioned some really amazing women.
I mean, I can look back on the 5 other teams and I'm like, no, that's the best team ever. No, that's the best one ever. No, that's the best one ever. It's the best basketball players in the world on one team. And usually we're competing against each other and we're going, as hard as we can at each other. And now we actually are on a team and we can support each other and, enjoy each other's successes. It's really a special moment. I never take it for granted. And, if I have the opportunity to be in Paris, we're going to do like we always do. We're going to go in there and have tremendous respect for the whole world and treat it like that.
Yeah. Who do you think possesses the biggest threat to Team USA right now?
Obviously Australia is always one of those teams, historically have just been unbelievable on the world stage. I think China's elevated their play. And I think the team no one's talking about is the home team, France. I've had a long, list of battles with them internationally. They're just a tough team. They're well coached. They play hard. And, there's nothing like a team that's playing at home for their country. So
Right.
they have a very scary roster.
Is your French good? I'm not gonna lie, I have like 3 words I know.
My French is terrible, actually. I don't know any French. Hopefully they speak a little Spanish there.
Hey sports fans, if you want to see more conversations with athletes and stars, check out these videos right here and be sure to subscribe for more from USA Today Sports.